Hi there. This is, excuse me, this is the video. Oh boy, excuse me. So, the video that you're going to watch is 5.1, Chapter 5, Section 1, Notes. And there are two goals. One is to find the rate of change in a table. And the second one, the second goal is to find the slope of a line. Find slope. Okay, using ordered pairs, which are x, y, and graph. So from a table, and this table that I'm drawing here has two values in it. It has time and it has distance. And 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, and 4 minute. And the distance is 260 feet, 520 feet, and 780 feet, and 1,040 feet. And we want to find the rate of change. Rate is this. It's the change in distance divided by the change in time. Okay? So this is the change in distance is 260 to 520, 780, or 520 to 780, 780 to 1040. So in order to do that, I have to subtract. So it's 260, 260, 260, and 260. Okay, so like 520 minus 260 equals 260. Now that's distance. Time is 1 minute. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay? So the rate in this table is 260 feet per 1 minute. So that's how you find the rate of change in a table. It's the change in the distance divided by the change in the time. Now, what's interesting about this is distance is the output and time is the input. So it's the change in the output, the change in the input. Okay? Now, the slope of a line on a graph, which is, this is the second goal, okay, this is equal to the change in y, the change y makes, divided by the change x makes, okay? So in order to find that, it's going to be the vertical change, so it's the up and down change, over the horizontal change. Okay? So when you have a graph, all right, here's a graph. This is the y-axis. And this is the x-axis. And you have a line that goes through these 2 points. And you want to find the slope. What you have to do for this is you have to go from the bottom x to the top x, or to the bottom point to the top point. Okay, you go from bottom to top, bottom point to top. And what you do is you're going to count up and you're going to count over. All right? Your up is the change in y, and your over is the x value. So this slope of this line that I have highlighted in blue will be up +2 over +1. So the change in y, okay, which is the vertical change, and then the change in x, which is the horizontal change. Okay? So the slope of this line is 2, +2 over +1 equals 2. All right, we're going to do another one. And you stop this video and do it, it's fine. That'd be good. Now I'm going to put a point right here, and then I'm going to put another point over here. And I'm going to graph a line through those 2 points. And I'm going to go from the bottom point to the top point, and I'm going to count up +1, and then I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5. So the slope is equal to +1 over -5. That's the answer. So this is also called a rate. Okay? Now, it's also can be calculated using going from the bottom one, okay, and counting over. Or no, I'm sorry, you can go from the top one to the bottom one. Go from the top to the bottom. And how do I get there? I go -1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is +5. So the slope counted this way is -1 over 5. And you can see that they're the same numbers. So to find the slope of a line, you're going to count. when you got the graph. And you're going to count the change in the y, which is up and down. All right, the change in the y, the vertical change, up and down. And it's going to be over the change in x, which is the horizontal change. Now it's going to be blue over blue. It's not going to be real pretty, but there it is. Okay? All right, so that's the slope when you've got a graph. What's the slope of this line? 2 over 1. What's the slope of this line? Negative 1 over 5. Okay? Now, the next task is to use the formula, which is m equals, now m stands for slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, because this is the change in y. And this is the change in x. Because when you subtract two numbers, you find the difference, the change. Okay? For finding slope given 2 points. Okay? Now, example. Okay? Here's an example. I'm going to do 4, negative 3, and 4, 2. No, not 4, 2. I'm going to do, excuse me, 2, 1. Okay? So, now I'm going to graph those. So 4, negative 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I want to find the slope of this line. And I'm going to use the formula. So what I do is I label. x1, y1, x2, y2. So x1, y1, x2, y2. And then substitute. All right, so y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equals 1 minus negative 3. Y'all see it? Over 2 minus 4. Do you see it? So the slope of this line in yellow, we calculate here. It's 1 plus 3 over negative 2, or 4 over negative 2, which is equal to negative 2. So m equals negative 2. So how do you find the slope when you have 2 points? You have to use the formula y2 minus y1 equals, or divided by x2 minus x1. And you substitute. Okay? That's your 5-1 notes. Go back and watch it. Okay? And take notes and turn it in.